Welcome back to the podcast, episode 100. This is a big day. This is our 100th episode of the Yee podcast. I said from the very beginning that I heard from another guy that he never listens to a podcast until they've done 100 episodes, and because that's how long it takes to, I guess, become a good host.
100 episodes, and it's only taken us 4 years.
100 episodes in 4 years, and I have not been the host for, I'd say, the majority of those. So this really doesn't count because Hayden, a previous employee, ran like the first, I don't even know, 60 or 70 episodes. So really this is like my 30th episode.
Would you call this season 1 still?
I don't know. Brian, why don't you share what happened to your face?
Last week I was in Idaho on a little mountain biking excursion, and turns out when you're going downhill, it can be really hard to stop sometimes, and just got a face full of ground and rocks, and cut up my lip pretty good, and I've been bleeding quite a bit, but we're back. We're here.
You look good, man.
Yeah, it actually didn't hurt as bad as it looked, but I had blood running all down my face, and it was not fun.
You didn't chip a tooth or anything?
No chipping tooth, thankfully.
That's good.
My teeth feel kind of weird, but I think I'm okay.
Sorry to hear that, Brian.
Thank you.
Glad you're feeling better.
Appreciate that.
This is actually a huge episode because Zach Latham is making his official face reveal.
Really, really big deal.
The man behind the camera.
Behind the camera.
Everyone's seen his fingers and his feet on Yee Life.
My boots.
Yeah,
Yep.
pointing at things, and then when the camera pans down, but nobody knows who you are. So I'm very excited to introduce Zach with me today, who is the brains behind Yee Life, our other YouTube channel that we started about a year ago, and is the craziest thing to happen in my life since Earl Dibbles Jr. hit the stage in 2011. First off, where are Granger and Tyler, the other usual guests on the podcast? They are currently in Michigan on a vacation, and they're going to be back tonight.
Did you get invited to that?
Today's Friday. Yeah, I did, but
good.
Amy and I were on vacation last week. We went with her family to Port Aransas in Texas. And yeah, it's too many vacations, man.
Yeah, those are the worst.
Yeah, can't do it. No, they're not the worst.
I'm
but,
kidding.
Yeah.
Zach, did you have any nicknames when you were a kid?
Nicknames? I had Z-Man and my Instagram handle of Zachapoo. So that was about it for me. But yeah.
Zach Poo.
How long have you worked here?
It's been almost 2 years now. Well, it's been 2 years that I've been with Yee, but it'll be 2 years that I've been here full time in January. So
We hired Zach in late 2023? Or what, 2022?
I came on part-time in like August of 2023, and then I came on full-time in January of 2024. So
We are not a company to remember like work anniversaries or anything. People like,
well, mine's very easy because I started literally like January 1st of 2024.
oh wow, okay, so
So-
I should remember
What was that process like from the outside coming in, and like, did you think you had a shot at the job? Were you just throwing darts at the wall? Like, how did that all happen?
I just graduated, so it was my first time really
From where?
applying for full-time jobs from CU Boulder, Colorado. And I was working remotely full-time for a sports marketing company, and then just was looking for part-time work to do as well, and found you guys online.
Where,
And
what website?
the great website of LinkedIn.
Mm.
No, I'm glad to be off of LinkedIn now because that is the worst website to spend time on. But yeah, just started working part-time with you guys, like a couple hours a day, helping with socials and whatnot. I didn't really know where it was going to lead, but obviously just like a really cool opportunity to get involved here. So I was kind of hoping it would turn into a full-time role. And yeah, I didn't really know how to position it or like market myself to get in full time here, but it just kind of worked itself out after being here part time for a few months, and started as just social media management and has basically shifted into YouTube management now for the most part. So the role has evolved quite a bit, and yeah, I've been blessed with the most fun job in the world now. I get to shoot guns and make YouTube videos with Parker all day. So yeah, it's pretty awesome for sure.
Had you ever heard of EE before you started working here?
I'd seen the socials before, but I had not heard of Earl or Granger really. So I was aware of the brand, but I didn't really know anything about it. No. But now I know all about it.
Some may say
I guess
too
I can
much.
share kind of the origin of Yee Life. Yee Life was a YouTube channel that Granger started in 2019, in like spring of 2019, to have like a another lifestyle channel about living the Yee life. At the time, he was a country music artist traveling the United States and the world, and he was just going to film things that he got into. So like our very first video was a how to set up it's like a 1,000-yard shot with Nick Irving, and then like another one he's making cowboy coffee with Kent Rollins, another one he's fishing with Lunkers TV. And then in June of 2019, his son passed away in a drowning accident, and everything got put on hold. And kind of like, obviously that you rethink everything at that point. And so when we lost Riv, everything kind of got put on hold, and he didn't have a desire to do that anymore. And so that channel really just went into the void. It just kind of got stuck in time. The last video was like, I think like a week before, in 2019, in like late May, early June of 2019. And so that channel sat there for 5 years, and with 40,000 subscribers.
And it was dead for 5 years, no content?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I think that Granger actually may have done like a one Mexico hunt on it, actually, now that I think about it.
And I think it got taken off, though, or delisted.
No, it's
Oh, is it still on there?
so 6 years ago was
2019.
his regular videos, and then 2 years later, so technically 4 years ago from today, is the video Massive Texas Whitetail Catch,
Okay.
Clean, Cook. So that was, let me see if I have an exact day. Anyway, so yeah, 4 years ago, and that was in 2020, December of 2020.
So it sat about 3 years without ever being posted on.
Yeah. And when Granger retired from touring, and we were looking for ways to continue the brand, to continue the Yee life, we were just thinking like, what are things that we have here at our disposal that could be authentic to who we are? And so it was like everything from like, do we go on like hunts? Do we start a hunting vlog? Do we start a fishing vlog? Do we start, a podcast talking about current events or politics? And then I remember listening to a video, and he was like, the guy talking, and it was like, just find something that you already have that you can just like roll in, that not a lot of people have. And I was like, wow, like, in God's providence, we have a gun range here at our office that we literally never use. And between our entire team, we have some sweet guns. And I remember watching a video by another creator, and he said in it, this video ends when I put a hole in my grain bin. And so it's like this big metal silo, and he has these air guns that he shoots these pellets at. It's just, video ends when I put a hole in this grain bin. And then he says, first up, we got this blah, blah, blah. And the next up, we have this blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, this one put a little bit of a dent, and this one did a little bit more of a dent. And I was like, that's actually a really cool idea. And so I got Zach and I said, I have this video idea. Let's do. We have an old boat, like a junk boat on the property, and I said, let's do it to where video ends when I put a hole in my boat. And so we started with a bow, and it was like starting out with the 20-pound bow and the 70-pound bow and then the flaming arrow. And so that was the first ever like short that we did on YouTube, and it did pretty well. I think it got like a couple 100,000 views.
Yeah.
And
Which
then
felt very good at the time.
yeah. And then we started thinking really big, like Mr. Beast big. Because actually right before that I was thinking like, what if we bought a boat and then blew it up on the lake, and then I found out it's illegal to burn a vehicle even on private property in Texas. And so anyway, so we were just thinking about like YouTube and how to utilize a platform. And then I remember talking to Kentucky Ballistics and saying, do you think we should start a new channel? Should we just utilize the current channel? And anyway, we decided to just take the Yee Life channel and start making videos on it. And so that was only a year ago. That was like late spring, summer of 2024. And the channel has slowly and at the same time very quickly evolved to, in 1 year, 3.5 million subscribers. Over 2.2 billion views.
And for those who don't know, it's essentially a GunTube channel where we just have started shooting different things with guns and different calibers and durability testing things. So it's like sort of Demolition Ranch X Whistling Diesel style videos, which, funnily enough, I don't know, 4 or 5 months after we started making videos, Demolition Ranch retired, stopped making videos. So weird timing. And now, yeah, we're in that same space as him. So
yeah, man, crazy that the GOAT of GunTube retires the year that we start. And
Did you put him out of business?
crazy, absolutely not.
I'm looking right now. It says 2.4 billion views.
Yeah.
That's like, you see it as a number just on a screen, but if you think about that amount of people, that's like, if you were to spread it out, a quarter of the world has seen something y'all have made. Is that weird to think about?
I
it's
can't even really fathom it.
I feel like it would be weirder. It's not as weird knowing that it's like YouTube is a global platform, because it's like the reach on YouTube is like you're hitting people all over the globe, and it just feels like an audience completely out of touch or whatever, or like can't even really grasp. But because I know our audience kind of comes from all over the place, but yeah, it is pretty crazy though. It's about a quarter of the world population.
Yeah.
At what point, Zach, did you feel like we were onto something with the channel?
I think once we started like consistently, I don't know, we had one video that hit like 50-60 million views, and obviously that was crazy, and you know, maybe a part of me thought that was an anomaly and not going to happen again. Then we have it happen again, and then we start consistently getting millions of views on each of our shorts. So I knew that, you know, we were able to take all of these great ideas that have even been done before, but package them into a great way in short form. We just kind of figured out the science behind how to do that. So yeah, it was just an interesting concept of like, okay, short form content is so big now. Let's take all of these great content ideas that have been done before, package them into 60 seconds of value, and they will inevitably go viral because short form is just so big right now.
Yeah, the very first video that went like mega viral is currently at 69 million views, and I have a bow, and I'll just play it for the mic real quick.
Would any of these helmets stop an arrow? We got a football helmet, a motorcycle helmet, and a Vietnam helmet.
I actually
We're gonna shoot them all and find out.
Specifically remember like not having a lot of planning or time going into that. That was our first big video that got like, 50-60 million views, and we just like went into the gym before and like grabbed a football helmet off the shelf, and we just like grabbed a couple helmet. I don't think we bought any of those helmets. It was a football helmet, motorcycle helmet,
Military helmet, right?
or they were it wasn't planned for this. Like we just grabbed various helmets around the office and shot them with a bow, and we're like, wow, well, people like to see stuff getting shot with weapons and whatnot. So yeah, we found quite the interesting niche, but it's been a blast.
Yeah, I like what you said. Like, we're not really doing anything new. It started with shorts, just like repackaging things that have already been done in a new way. And so many people were in the comments just like, everyone's already done this before. People have already seen this like over and over again. And
They haven't seen it in short form content,
which
though.
can be discouraging. But it's been really cool to see it grow.
What I love about the channel too is like it's not like you don't have to be super technical or really into guns to enjoy it. Like you can just be some average guy that's just genuinely curious, like, will this certain item stop a bullet? And it's like it becomes very intriguing to find out like that mystery of it. Like, man, how powerful are different types of guns, and what really will stop a bullet and what won't. And so it's been cool to see.
Yeah, from the very beginning, like, I'm not a tactical guy. I don't know a whole lot about guns. I just grew up shooting I'm a brown gun guy, as I like to call it. Like, I grew up with a pump 20 gauge shotgun when I was a kid. That was my first gun. And then I grew up just deer hunting with bolt action deer rifles. And so I didn't know anything about handguns or ARs other than just like shotguns and deer rifles. And so in like God's providence, all those years that I filmed Granger with Earl, coming up with skits for Earl Dibbles and filming them, I feel like it's been really cool to be able to then utilize that like knowledge of how to package it with just like the authenticity of like you said, there's not like a big barrier to entry. I'm not using any fancy like tactical terms because I don't know any of it. So I'm just like, a lot of like Zach and I's early videos were just, this is 12 gauge Tuesday where we shoot something with a 12 gauge and we see what happens. Like, you don't have to, it's like, I'm not like, we're using whatever grain with like a whatever special tactical shotgun. It's just like, this is a pump 12 gauge and we're going to shoot a watermelon.
I think that's like almost our edge in the space, is that we aren't gun nerds or gun experts or anything. Like, our idea for a video is just like a very relatable video that's fun shooting guns. Like, I think they're just very relatable, easy to follow. And yeah, I think not making them too technical and trying to get into the nitty-gritty details of different types of guns and whatnot has only helped us. So yeah, they're fun, relatable videos for anyone. And also our strategy for making the videos themselves has been pretty simple too. Basically, Parker and I just go out and I film on iPhone and edit it on my computer. I actually didn't even have much video editing experience going into this, and it's just like very easy to consume, simple strategy. Just film it on iPhone, edit it, chop it up on my computer in a pretty simple way.
I think that's a big, like misconception about YouTube too, is so many people think like, well, I don't have a big fancy camera, I don't have this, I don't have that. And it's like, no, like everyone has a camera in their pocket, and it's like, you just have to consistently go out and film with what you have. And then like from that, you'll grow a channel, whatever the case is. But like a lot of people won't even ever start because they don't feel like they have what it takes. But like this is a great testament to that. And like, this is a channel with 3.5 million subscribers, and it's shot completely on an iPhone.
Yeah. Like we said, like our very first few videos were just taking things that we already had and filming on an iPhone. So like we had an old junk boat in our junkyard and we shot it with a bow that we already had. Then we went and grabbed an old football helmet, an old motorcycle helmet that we already had, and we shot it with a bow. Then we got an old cast iron pan and we shot it with a handgun that we already had. Then we got some pieces of cardboard and we shot it with the bow. Then we got an old tire that we found and we shot it with the bow, you know?
Yeah.
So like,
And so it's evolved into so many different things, like a excavator bucket, and I'm sure people are like, where the heck do you get that? And talk about just kind of like the stories behind some of these things that you've found to shoot, and that whole process.
Yeah, a big part of my job now is just scouring Facebook Marketplace and looking for different interesting, fun things to shoot. So I've gone on some interesting little adventures to pick up very strange items from people and pay them in cash. But like just last night, I got a massive anvil in Belton. I drove up there, and so it's been fun going little road trips around Texas and pick up some fun stuff to shoot.
Do people ever ask you what are you using this for?
Yeah, and I'll feel it out and decide whether or not I'm gonna be fully transparent with them. Like last night, I was getting this anvil, and the guy was like, you know, he had like an anvil poster in his garage, and like he clearly was like, it was like his passion project. And I was just like, yeah, we just needed it for like where I work or whatever. I decided I'm not gonna tell him that we're gonna blow his anvil up with a 50 cal. But sometimes I'll tell them the handle and what we're doing with it and everything. But sometimes I decide to just be a little more vague.
Have you ever had any like reach out after the video's been posted and been like,
I've reached out to, I've sent the videos to people sometimes and been like, hey, here's what we were doing with your excavator bucket or whatever.
it's all for a good cause?
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace makes it easy to get budget items. It's a pretty low cost channel, really. Obviously guns are expensive and ammo is expensive, but you know, we have a pretty select amount of guns that we use, and we don't blow ammo like crazy or anything either. So
Yeah, because each video you're shooting like 6 or 7 rounds, right? Total.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean
10 rounds.
It depends a little bit, but yeah, no, we're not like going through a case of ammo in a video or anything like that. It's pretty calculated. So
where do you get your ideas? For those who don't know, Zach pretty much does the entire channel. He comes up with the idea, he finds the product, he negotiates the price with someone on Facebook Marketplace. He drives upwards of, what's the furthest you've driven?
The furthest I've driven was, I don't know, 2.5 hours or something like that, and it was a bust of a object anyway. I think I got an airplane door in like Dallas, and it was a bad video anyway. But yeah, I like going on long car rides. So sometimes if I see something that's worth grabbing, I'll just go for it. But yeah.
So he drives upwards of 5 hours round trip, brings it back, says, Parker, this is what we're shooting, grabs all the guns, takes them out there, sets it all up, films it. I mess everything up because I just like stumble over my words, and he's like, nah, try it again, say this, and then look this way. So he directs it, and then he edits the whole thing, and then he posts it. So like this is literally like the man behind Yee Life that does it all.
Well, the credit goes to you for getting us out there to shoot something. You are what kickstarted the channel with that, and but yeah, it's been fun to roll with ever since. I'm glad we started making videos out there.
What's a video that you didn't know would go viral that you weren't expecting to go viral?
I don't know. Some of our videos that aren't really what we typically post, like they aren't us shooting an excavator bucket with increasing caliber bullets, or they aren't like, we've done some different ones where it's like, what would happen if you put your thumb behind the slide when you're shooting a Glock? They don't do half as well as our other videos, but they still do well. So it's cool to see like maybe we're not handcuffed to exclusively doing videos where we're shooting stuff with higher and higher caliber bullets, where we can branch off and do some other things. So it's been cool to see some of the other creative ideas still do pretty well. I don't know if that's because we just have a massive presence on YouTube and they're going to do, like, no matter what we post is going to do well, or if there's potential for other types of content that we can make on the channel. But I also will say, like, you know, I don't think we're ever you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you're going to run out of ideas or things to shoot. Like, you know, this can only go on so long. And we have slowed down a bit as far as posting shorts, but I don't think it's because of a lack of ideas. I think that's we've been trying to get into long form more and whatnot, but I think there's endless things you can do with this at the end of the day. Like, you can shoot. There's endless ideas and things you can shoot in a video to get viral content out there, I think. What do you think? You think we're going to hit a wall and run out of stuff to shoot, or?
No, I don't think so. Because like you said, we're thinking about getting like a ultra slow-mo camera. I just look at Demolition Ranch, and he did it for like 10 plus years, weekly videos pretty much. Like, there's endless stuff you can do. And especially if we got an ultra slow-mo camera, then you could create, we've been thinking about getting like a super, super slow-mo camera, and then you could shoot really simple stuff, and it makes even the most simple shots really compelling. So that's another world. And then, like you said, like, it doesn't just have to be shooting something. Like, who knows what's going to happen over the next, 5 years with it. You said that you figured out the science of shorts. Do you want to share, like, maybe what that means to those who maybe they're trying to start a smaller channel, or they're just interested in business or I guess media or content in general? Like what does figuring out the science of shorts mean? Like, what have you learned from the beginning?
I would say, obviously, the first and foremost, most important thing is just like keep it as snappy and fast paced as you possibly can, at least for short form content. I mean, long form's a whole different thing, but like zero space between words. Move through the video as quick as you can, and then make what you're saying and explaining as clear and concise as you possibly can. So it's like, if we shoot, I don't know, a bulletproof vest or something like that, it's a shot of the first opening shot is a real clear shot of Parker pointing at the bulletproof vest with a gun, showing exactly what we're going to do. So it's like, the hook is there, exactly what's going to happen. We have a line in the beginning that explains exactly what we're going to be doing, and then it cuts to the first caliber real quick. And then another important thing is, like, when you are going to see what happened or whatever, you just use as few words as possible in a understandable and concise way, so that it's easy to interpret and moves along quickly. I mean, that's a little more targeted to what we're doing, but I guess the overarching picture is like, make sure you're using language that everyone can understand, is concise, short, clear, and then obviously the first 3 seconds of a video are like huge too. So you have to make sure you have like a hook and a cool first shot to grab people. But also what we're doing is pretty engaging, and it's not hard to get a good hook when we're shooting something with a 50 cal. So
What's like a bucket list thing that you'd like to do with this channel, if there is any, of like something of like, if we were able to do this, that would be something that would be really, really cool? Is it like, it could be a particular person that we collab with, it could be a particular gun that we shoot, or a location?
I think that what it all comes down to is the concept of the video. Like, I don't think it really matters where we're doing it or who we're doing it with. Like, I like the fact that it's just, we're keeping it so simple and small, which is you and me just going out there. So it's not, if I had a dream idea for a video, it would be that we have a house that we built, or it's like a model house or something like that, or a brick house, and we do bulletproof testing on the home to see how many walls the bullets make it through and what kinds of things they go through, so we can basically just demo a whole house. We could almost make it like a house durability test or something. Obviously, that would be an expensive project, or we'd have to find a cheap, old, rundown house to do that for, or something like that. But that's the biggest idea I could come up with, is like a house, because it's not just, is the house bulletproof? You could do all kinds of different things with that in the house. So I could see that going pretty viral for sure. So one day, hopefully. But bigger picture, Like, I don't really have the desire to change how we're doing anything though. I feel like it's working really well. It's easy. Yeah, it's just coming up with different video ideas.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a subscriber count goal?
No,
There
not
will never
really.
be enough.
That's
it's
the
so
other
true.
thing is it's like I don't really subscribers don't I mean it's a cool number to like say to people or to show that like, oh, we grew it to this amount of subscribers, but at the end of the day, I don't know how familiar people who are listening are with YouTube, but like it doesn't actually matter at all. Like good content does well no matter what. Like
Yeah.
the cream will rise to the top. It doesn't matter how many like we could have started. Part of me wishes we didn't even start this channel with Grangers that had 40,000 subscribers, because I'm realizing now I mean, not that it matters, but it's like we could have posted a viral video with 1 subscriber and grown it, and it would have done well no matter what. Like good content is good content. There's no such thing as like accounts that are so big that are like taking over the algorithm. Like no, the good content creators will make it.
Because
So.
back in the day, only your subscribers or your followers would see whatever you were posting. And now it's just all about the algorithm. So it's not necessarily, a lot of times accounts will have 10 million subscribers and they'll only have 1,500 views because YouTube's like, this video is not performing well, so we're not even going to show your own subscribers.
Yeah.
So,
Which
yeah.
kind of hurts us in a sense with the Instagram, because we've built so many followers on Instagram. We've got like, or that's all credit to Ben. Ben grew our Instagram account to over 1 million followers, and it doesn't really matter now because it's like we can post something and Instagram will only show that post to 5,000 people if it's not a good post.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They're not going to show it to all your followers.
Yeah.
So that should hopefully be encouraging to you if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel about something that you're passionate about, or you have a social media account and you're starting at 0. If you just focus on quality and what's going to do well, then you can grow quickly, because we're really all at a level playing field. Like, yes, now Zach and I's videos have more likelihood to hit like 100 million plus views because of the base that we've built, but that's also just because we've been doing it every day for a year, and so we're making significantly better videos than we were a year ago. So it's like you just got to do it, accept the fact that it's going to stink at first, do it consistently, and then like hopefully because I mean, you could make a million excuses of, well, they started with 40,000 subscribers, they got this money, or they got this farm, or whatever. And I totally get that. And like the Lord has given us things and unfair advantages, and we already had this gun range. Like, who has a private gun range? But hopefully it's somewhat encouragement to you that social media is built now to where it's just the best content will go to the front regardless of how many subscribers you have, like Zach said. And so
Another thing I'll add to that too is like we were talking about with shooting on an iPhone, and like I think audio is more important than video, and people will watch a video a lot longer if the audio is good versus if the video's good. And so if you have bad audio, like that's gonna want someone to swipe to the next video. And so like that little magnet that Parker wears on his shirt, that's a microphone that plugs straight into the phone. And yes, it is a couple $100, but like eventually down the road, that would be my suggestion to someone, is to invest in slightly better audio, because that will make a difference in your video.
that's a really good point.
I
That's
think
probably
he's
the
taking a
single.
shot at us, Parker, because our audio sucks on our long forms.
Yeah, it's true. That's probably the single most important thing that you would not notice just by watching our videos. But if you post a short without mics, it's going to sound terrible unless you're really close to the camera.
And there's no wind.
And so, Brian, what's the name of the...
So we use
Mics that we
DJI microphones. Comes in a 2-pack, a little magnetic thing that clips to your shirt and then plugs straight into your phone. And they've been great. We've gone through a couple of them. Just no one's fault.
And
But
we've-
they break.
It's
Parker
definitely,
steps on 'em.
definitely my fault. I drop them or I break them or I step on them. But
But
yeah, so
otherwise, they're pretty good.
we film on like a 5-year-old iPhone that Zach has, those DJI mics, and then Zach uses CapCut, right?
Yes,
to
this
edit.
is all the most entry level things you could think of.
It's
that I'm
actually
using.
hilarious that we have 3 million plus subscribers and 2 billion views on a 5-year-old iPhone and a free iPhone app editing.
Yeah. And we're in the world now where you have no excuse to say I don't know how to do something, because you can literally look it up on YouTube or ask the internet and you'll have an answer right away. And so it's like the only thing holding someone back is themselves at this point in creating content in this world. So
Yeah. Well, any other thoughts, guys?
why the YouTube channel?
Why the point of anything? The initial goal was to grow the Yee brand. Granger's done with music, and he's writing and speaking, and people can buy into that. But the biggest thing was just the why was, can we grow this company and make it profitable and make a living and employ people, and then hopefully in the long run through that point people to Christ. And I think a long-term goal for me would be to, once the following becomes more loyal, then we really pull people to the podcast, where Granger and Tyler and I, or us three, are able to talk about the behind the scenes, and people can kind of get to know us a little bit better and get to know our faith and kind of the whole point of all this. Because like Brian said earlier, it's never enough, man. Zach, I don't know if you've experienced this at all. You're young. How old are you?
23.
23 years old.
From New York.
From New York.
Already built a 1 million+ social media platform, built a 3 million subscriber YouTube channel, made good money. And I don't know about you, but with me, I just constantly find myself just a little bit more followers, just 5 million. That'll be good. Well, this guy's at 10. So let's just get to 10 million subscribers. Well, this guy's at 50 million. You don't even have a diamond plaque? Okay, 50 million, and then we'll be... Okay, but
We gotta be the
Mr.
best.
Beast is over 100 million. You could get that plaque. And then, well, Dude Perfect just built $100 million warehouse. Let's just get
sounds
that.
like a nightmare almost. Once you get to that point, it's I can't even imagine the logistics and everything that go into a Mr. Beast video. I know that they have I don't know, probably 100 people employed and you might know more about that.
They're shooting
but-
6 videos, usually 6 videos at once is what I've heard.
Yeah, but that's Mr. Beast content is so good. It's evolved into just the most engaging possible videos with the most creative, fun possible ideas. And yeah, those are executed very well. So I guess maybe we'll be Mr. Beast one day, but I don't think I don't know if we even want to get that big, but
If the Lord wills, we will. But at the end of the day, I'll end it with something that Granger said a long time ago that stuck with me, which was, he said, if I know for a fact that, this was when Granger was trying to get the next single, because you get same thing in the music industry. You get your first sold out show, then you want another, and then it's well, 10 people came to my show. Okay, now what if we sold out a 50-person room, and then a 100-person room, and then 1,000, and then, well, you got to get to arenas. Well, you're not in stadiums. What are you doing? You got your first number one. That's awesome. Well, now you got to get your second, and you're not really legit until you get 5 number ones. But if you really want to establish yourself, you get 10 anyway. So Granger was just if I know for a fact that when I put my head on my pillow at night, that put in whatever country artist, most successful artist that you can imagine in your head, whoever's at the top of the leaderboard of your industry, if you're listening to this, if you just think about the person who's the pinnacle of your niche that you look up to, that you aspire to be one day, you just ask yourself, are they any more at peace when they put their head on the pillow at night than I am? So Granger was when I put my head on the pillow at night, I know for a fact that I'm just as at peace than a George Strait or a Garth Brooks or somebody who's done all of it. And then ultimately, I think Granger would attest that just has to do with your relationship with God.
Yeah.
And just knowing that nothing in this world is going to satisfy your soul than knowing that you are at peace with God through Christ, and that we're not living ultimately for this world, but that we're looking ahead to heaven, and that everything in this world will ultimately, the Bible says that the moths and the rust will destroy it, can't take anything with you, and death is the great equalizer. The homeless man and Elon Musk, the Bible says, will both end up in the same place. They can take none of it with them. So,
And I would say, like, the majority of the people listening to this podcast are in a position in life or a job or a season or whatever that they were once looking forward to.
Mhm.
And now they're not at peace because they're looking forward to that next season and that next job, that next promotion, that next paycheck, whatever it is. And it's like you said, you're never going to feel that abundance of peace that you're looking for without Christ.
Yeah, that is something I've thought about a little bit, is like, if you asked me in college or high school or whatever, like, what I want my life to look like when I've graduated or whatever, like, I could not have drawn it up in a better way. Like, moving to Texas, having such a cool job here, getting to work at such a fun place like this, like, this is everything I could say that I've wanted in, like, high school, college. So it's like, I don't know, it's just important to, like, think about and reflect on that and be like,
Yeah.
well, you have those things, so what,
Yeah.
where, yeah.
Why you're not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for sticking around. If you've been here since episode 1, leave a comment below. Thank you guys for sticking around for our 100th episode. I hope this was interesting for you. I'm glad you got to meet Zach for the first time.
Hey, we're a real podcast now.
And we're a real podcast now. We've done 100 episodes. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.